are looking at what they call the Field of Dreams here in Napanee. And if Northwood's dreams of a Northern Lakes Conference baseball title are going to come true, they need a win at home today against the visiting Goshen Redhawks. That is the matchup for our 46th game of the week. And how you doing, everybody? Alongside Angelo DiCarlo, it's Chuck Freeby. Great to have you with us for another edition of our spring showcase here on TV 46. Goshen has had some good baseball teams in recent years. This year, the Redhawks graduated a lot of people from last year's team, so they're only 5-8, but J.J. DuBois really likes what his young team has done, and they've upset some big dogs in the NLC.
Absolutely. They took down Concord last Wednesday, the first team to beat Concord in league play. Then they stumbled on the back end of the week against Wawasee. They're a team that's more than capable. They have a lot of talent. It's just whether or not those young pieces can come together to win a game in this very tough Northern Lakes Conference.
Meanwhile, A.J. Reisdorf has a very opportunistic Northwood team, and they've capitalized on opportunities to go 4-2 in the NLC. They sit a game behind Warsaw. They're really kind of in the catbird seat right now, and they get a chance to play at this beautiful field.
And not only are they 4-2, the two losses in league play, both coming in extra innings. So they've been in every single one of those league contests. Very talented group, a lot of good senior leaders on this squad. Saw them last week in one of those losses against Mishawaka. You could see the talent out there, and they have come together really well. They really love the chemistry on this squad.
And a pair of solid pitchers today with Kyan Miller going for Goshen against Mason Bogan for Northwood. Should be a fun one. We'll tell you all about it when we come back with our pregame show, including our keys to win and the coaches' comments. It all comes your way next on the 46th Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Spring Game of the Week, brought to you by Bill's Heating, Tire Rack, Reliance, Health Market's Tony Letcher, Crown Trophy, HealthLink, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Purdue Northwest College of Nursing, Basney Honda, and Ben's Soft Pretzels. Also brought to you by
And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Tire Rack. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. We welcome you into the Reliance broadcast booth. Reliance design, build, and renovate. They have built the Field of Dreams here in Napanee, as you see from our perch in the Reliance broadcast booth. And what a beautiful field this is. A great setting for today's Northern Lakes Conference matchup between Goshen and Northwood. Let's give you our key players for tonight's game, and we'll start with the Goshen Redhawks, who are led in hitting by their center fielder, Kyan Miller. The senior had a big 5-hit game against Concord last week. He's batting .431 on the year. That puts him 6th in the NLC, and he'll get some offensive support from Quinn, Schreiner, Landis. The outfielder is only a junior, but he's batting .342, and he's got some wheels, too, with 6 stolen bases. The keys to win for J.J. DuBois and the Redhawks.
They got to win the middle innings. They've been very good at the start and end of games in terms of scoring, but they've struggled in the middle innings this year. No free bases. That has been a thorn in the games that they've lost. And don't leave men on base. They've been getting guys on, but they have not been able to drive them in as much as they would like. J.J. DuBois on how his young team has grown this year.
Well, they don't have much of a choice. I kind of threw them into that fire, but no, they've got talent. You can sense at times they just feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. They feel like this is every at-bat's the biggest at-bat, and if they don't come through, then everyone's mad at them. You know, they're kind of going through those growing pains, but this, you know, we keep thinking long-term is going to be a great thing. Our seniors are doing a great job of holding it all together, and when things aren't great, they are the calm presence that we kind of need.
Meanwhile, this Northwood team can swing it as well, and they've got a couple of veterans who are having good years at the plate. One of them, Nate Dutkowski, batting .356 on the year. The 3-year varsity player is only a junior, but he had a 5-game hit streak this season and a big 4-hit game against Wawasee. And when they need power, well, Bo knows. It's Bo Patterson, the senior, hitting .298, couple of homers, and 14 knocked in to lead the team. He was all Northern Lakes Conference a year ago and having the kind of season that will likely give him that honor again. The keys to win for A.J. Reisdorf for the Panthers.
Get the leadoff man on each inning, because if you do, guys like Bo Patterson can drive them in. Put Goshen in pressure situations. They want to take advantage of Goshen being a young team and have that next pitch mentality. There's going to be mistakes. It's baseball. They got to be able to move on to the next pitch. A.J. Reinsdorf on the difficulty of the round-robin two-game matchup against each team in this league in the NLC.
Yeah, it always is. I think I remember last time we spoke, I said it was a dogfight, and that's going to be true here today and through the second half of this round robin. You can't take any days off. Yesterday, last night, for example, the sectional draw happens, and we look at it, analyze it, and say, okay, well, we got another championship here before we get to the sectional that we have to fight for, and that's the NLC, and our guys are going to be ready.
It's a rivalry that has been going on for 54 years here in Elkhart County. Northwood facing the other dugout in Goshen. We are just about set. The starting lineups of the first pitch from Napanee come your way next on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Basney Honda. Proud to be your go-to resource for all things automotive. An overcast spring day in Napanee, and we're ready for baseball. The lights are on here at the Field of Dreams. Let's give you the starting lineup for the Goshen Redhawks. Who's on?
Leading the way is Callan Miller, the senior center fielder, 10 stolen bases. Braxton Klein batting second, a sophomore with 6 RBI on the season. Damian Castillo, a senior first baseman, bats third. He was all NLC last year. Quinn Schreiner-Landis, junior right fielder, batting fourth. Kyan Miller, the pitcher, junior, 6 RBI, batting fifth. Then it's Colton Rapp, sophomore catcher. Carter Markham, a sophomore DH. Peyton Bontrager, a senior second baseman with 6 stolen bases on the season. And rounding out the starting lineup, Caden Whitty, a junior third baseman, hitting .333 with 5 RBI.
They'll be facing the southpaw Mason Bogan, who is 2-1 on the year with a 4.67 ERA. In 15 innings, he's allowed 20 hits. Nice strikeout to walk ratio, especially when you consider he's only thrown 15 innings and he's fanned 22 while walking 10. Bogan doesn't necessarily throw all that hard, but he has a tendency to miss the bat, and that's something A.J. Reisdorf likes about him. This series goes back all the way to 1970. In the last 10 years, though, the Redhawks have had the upper hand by an 8-6 count. That includes a 7-3 win last May. And our weather today is being brought to you by Goshen Home Medical. A very comfortable 64 degrees here at the ballpark. Gentle zephyr rippling Old Glory at 11 miles an hour, but we do have a 33% chance of rain. That's just to make sure that if it happens, we're covered.
This first inning brought to you by Marquee Health. They're proud to support Coach Du Bois and the Goshen baseball program. Marquee Health is your industry leader for corporate wellness and well-being programs. Learn more at marqueehealth.com.
The senior Callan Miller steps in to face Mason Bogan. And we're underway with NLC baseball in Napanee as the first pitch misses down low for ball 1. Bogan will throw the fastball right around 80 miles an hour. He has both a 2-seam and a 4-seam. Throws a slurve and a change. That one misses down low, and it's 2-0 to Miller, who comes into the action batting .431 on the year. No homers and 2 knocked in. 3-year varsity player who's committed to play at Manchester University. He bounces this one towards shortstop. Dutkowski has it there, shows a nice arm, and that's how our ball game begins. 1 up, 1 down. Here's Braxton Klein, the sophomore shortstop. Klein batting .333 with a homer that came against Plymouth and 6 knocked in. This is his second year on the varsity, Anj.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those young players that is rising up, and they're hoping he's going to be one of the players of the future that J.J. Du Bois really loves. The fact that you have a guy as a sophomore batting second in your lineup, it's a very promising future when you have him as a junior and senior coming up.
Bogan starts him with a strike on the outside corner and then comes back with a line drive center field. Reed is there, and there's 2 away.
Good start here by Mason Bogan. Certainly just 5 pitches thrown, and he's already got 2 outs recorded here in the top of the first.
A.J. Reisdorf does not mind contact because he's got a lot of confidence in his defense. Even though they've had 31 errors this year in 14 games, he feels like they've made some key plays. Here's Damian Castillo, the first baseman.
Really crouching out up on that plate right there. Will be against the left-handed pitcher here.
You mentioned he was all NLC last season, but he's only had 1 hit in his last 10 at-bats. He takes that pitch down low, and it's 2-0. Bogan, not a guy that can really afford to get behind in the count that often. He's not going to overpower hitters. He might fool them with the arsenal of pitches. Swing and a miss shown here, and it's 2-1 as he threw the changeup on 2-0.
Very interesting that Castillo was swinging, not having many hits in his last 10 at-bats, as you mentioned, and he's swinging there on 2-0.
Castillo fouls that one straight back, and now the count goes to 2-2. The outfield does not play Castillo very deep, and the infield, both Patterson at first and Ransberger at third guarding the lines. A lot of room up the middle for the senior first sacker. The 2-2 misses outside corner, called strike 3. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Mason Bogan. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Goshen scoreless, and the Panthers coming up on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, putting people over products. Northwood coming to bat. How do the Panthers line up? Let's tell you with our Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling starting lineup. Here's on.
All right, Mason Bogan, the pitcher, will be the leadoff hitter. Junior, he has 8 stolen bases on the year. Nate Dukowski, junior shortstop. Then it's Connor Reed, the junior center fielder, hitting .333. Mason Warren, a junior right fielder, 8 RBI in the season. Bo Patterson, senior first baseman, batting .298. Nathan Schrock is hitting 6th. The sophomore second baseman, followed by Carson Mateshak, the senior catcher, batting .270, one of our 46 student athletes of the week. Landon Perry hits 8th. He is a junior left fielder. And rounding out the lineup, Ryder Ransberger, a sophomore third baseman.
The numbers on the right-handed junior Kyan Miller are pretty impressive. 2-1, that 2.47 ERA, 22 2/3 pitched, only 19 hits. And look at that 27-5 strikeout to walk ratio. That's impressive. Let's go ahead and set the Goshen defense for you before the first batter of the inning. You've got Jace Hirschberger in left, Miller in center, and Schreiner Landis in right. Whitty, Klein, Bontrager, and Castillo, the infield third to first, and Kyan Miller pitching to his catcher, Colton Rapp. Mason Bogan will step in to lead things off. The Northwood pitcher is a hitter, batting .204, no homers, but he has driven in 9. He was all Northern Lakes Conference selection a year ago. Miller's first pitch inside for ball 1.
You mentioned Castillo crowding the plate last half inning, and well, Bogan also crowding the plate just a bit, and Miller trying to back him off that a little bit.
Left-handed hitter with good speed, but he takes a pitch up high, and the count goes to 2-0. Bogan started the year just 2 of 34. He has now had 8 hits in his last 14 at-bats, so he has found the stroke in the last couple of weeks. And Miller can't find the strike zone right now. It's 3-0.
Well, you love to get him on base with those wheels, so I imagine he'll be taking this one all the way with Miller having yet to throw a strike.
The 3-0 to Bogan. Inside corner, and it's 3-1. Miller does not back down out there on the mound. He has a 4-pitch arsenal, and he'll throw anything at any time. There's one on the outside corner for a strike, and the count is filled at 3-2.
Both pitchers moving very quickly here in the early going of this one.
Payoff pitch. Tap foul at the plate, and we'll do it all over again.
Mason Bogan helping his cause maybe in terms of putting the opposing pitcher into a situation of throwing a lot of pitches. Bogan only threw 10 pitches in the first half of this inning, and already 6 here thrown by Miller.
Kyan ready for another 3-2. Here it is. Inside, it'll go all the way to the backstop. Bogan will hustle down to first with a base on ball. That's only the 6th walk issued by Kyan Miller this season. but he just put on base. A young man with 8 stolen bases on the year, and A.J. Reisdorf loves to run. His team has 51 steals in just 14 games this year.
RMH Insurance Group proudly supports the high school student athletes playing today. RMH Insurance Group provides insurance policies written correctly with no hidden risk or surprises. Don't sacrifice coverage for price. Receive a free quote and begin the protection you really need.
Nate Dutkowski, that open stance in the right-hander's box, takes a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Not only is Dutkowski batting .356, he has a homer and 7 runs batted in. As he looks down at the head coach, A.J. Reisdorf, to get the sign. Good lead by Bogan at first. Miller saw it too and throws over there. Reminder, in high school baseball, you don't have the rules that you have in Major League Baseball. There's no pitch clock. There's no limit on the times that you can throw over to first.
We noticed that Friday in the game between Northridge and Mishawaka. Plenty of time was taken. Of course, there was a driving rain for a good portion of that game as well.
Here's the 0-1. Dutkowski tries to butt a bare hand catch by the catcher, Rapp. What a play. Colton Rapp showing cat-like reflexes behind home plate. And watch this again as he just pounces on this like a ball of yarn.
I thought he had a shot at it, but I didn't imagine he would have went barehanded to get it. And honestly, that might have been the only way he could have gotten it, and he does. That is fantastic defense there by Colton Rapp.
Connor Reed now steps into the left-handed batter's box. The center fielder batting .333 with a homer and 10 knocked in. The runner bluffs, and Reed takes a strike. It's 0-1.
And unfortunately for Northwood, that is certainly one of those situations where you're looking to get the runner moved over, a good fast runner into scoring position. Instead, it turns into an out.
Another throw over to first, and Castillo makes a sprawling catch over the top of Bogan.
Reminder, this first inning brought to you by Marquee Health, proud to support Coach Du Bois and the Goshen baseball program. Marquee Health is your industry leader for corporate wellness and well-being programs. Learn more at marqueehealth.com.
Breaking ball missed outside. I think that might be the first bender we've seen from Miller today, and the count goes to 1-1 on Reed, who has a 4-game hit streak coming into this one and has driven in runs in 3 straight games. So he's had a bit of a hot hand as of late. 1-1. That's another bender that misses outside. The count goes to 2-1.
And at some point, you wonder whether or not they'll try to get the runner over to second another way, perhaps with the wheels, and he's got a pretty decent lead there over at first.
Miller comes quickly to the plate and misses high, 3-1. And whether or not Bogan winds up stealing, I think right now he's in the head of Kai and Miller a little bit.
And that's the advantages of also being a pitcher, right? You probably know what it takes to get into the head of the opposing guy.
The 3-1 popped up, foul territory, and there's a lot of it here at the Field of Dreams. But that one's in the stands, and that fan wishes he had better hands. 3-2. Didn't want to drop the popcorn, and I can't blame him there.
Second batter of this inning already that has gone to a full count.
The pitch. Outside corner, called strike 3. He stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by as it bent in the back door. And Miller picks up his first strikeout of the game. The Goshen strikeouts brought to us by our friends at Marquee Health. You'll get another look at it, Anj.
Yeah, just take a look at it. Just perfect off-speed pitch, caught the corner. He had no chance whatsoever at that one, was just caught staring at it as it crossed over the outside of the plate for a strike.
Now Mason Warren, the left-handed hitting right fielder, stands in. And again, Miller throws over to first. Warren batting .250 on the year. No homers, 8 driven in. He's had 6 RBI in his last 3 games. That one misses outside, then counts 1-0. Warren, only a junior, playing right field today. Good student here at Northwood, where he carries a 3.76 GPA. 2-0 the count.
Northwood wanted to get the leadoff man on base. That's one of their keys to win here today, but unfortunately they have not been able to do anything with that runner on first base yet here in this inning.
Rapp has done a wonderful job behind the plate. First the bare hand catch and then framing the 3rd strike the last time up, and Warren swings and misses at a Miller fastball to make it 2-1. The one thing I've already noticed about this young man, Kai Miller, Anj, is that he changes speeds very well.
The only thing he doesn't change speeds on is maybe how quickly he will go to the plate, because he is a pretty fast deliverer.
Missed. Nope. Got it. Letter high strike. Lou Brown just a little bit tardy on the strike call that time.
He's thinking about it.
Philip Colburn out there on the bases today. Sweet Lou taking his sweet time. 2-2 with 2 away.
See if Bogan takes off on this pitch.
He does. And that one misses low, and they'll just let him have the base. It's his 9th of the year. Good call, Anj.
Well, now you're thinking he probably was going to throw an off-speed pitch. You're able to take off. You get into scoring position. 3-2 count here. See whether or not they're going to have to throw to him. Third guy in 4 batters. He got full count because you got Patterson on deck. You want to get Warren here.
Time called by Warren. Northwood with a runner in scoring position with 2 away.
Warren is an opportunistic guy, though. 18 walks this season, but also has 8 RBI.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. It's sponsored by Marquee Health. Kyan Miller with 2 Ks in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, a man left. We played 1 scoreless in Appanee. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. First inning went so quickly we didn't have a chance to set the Northwood defense, so let's do it now. Landon Perry's out in left tonight with Connor Reed in center and Mason Warren in right. It's Ryder Ransberger at third. Dutkowski at short, Schrock at second, and Patterson at first. Mason Bogan had a 1-2-3 inning on the mound. Carson Mashak didn't have to work that hard behind the plate. He'd like to keep it that way because he is our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athlete of the Week, and he's got to stay fresh for that 4th inning interview with Anj.
Second inning brought to you by our friends at Ben Soft Pretzels, big supporters of the Goshen Athletics program. Ben Soft Pretzel has been supporting all high school athletics since 2008. They believe that sports are an important part of a well-rounded education, are proud to support the next generation of athletes. Have a pretzel day.
Quinn Schreiner Landis takes a pitch just a little bit outside, and it's 1-0. This is his 3rd year on the varsity. He had a 9-game hit streak snapped on Saturday in their shutout loss against Wawasee. That pitch a little bit low, and the count goes to 2-0.
That game started on Friday. They were down 3-0 when rain washed it out. Came back on Saturday, and that's always tough. You come back for a second day in a row, already down 3-0 midway through the game. I can imagine.
And Quinn Schreiner Landis is hit by the pitch. That's the 4th time he's been plunked this season. That leads the team. And the leadoff man aboard for Goshen. Now, the Redhawks aren't exactly afraid to run on the bases either. They have 43 steals in 13 games. And Schreiner Landis with 6 of them. So here's the pitcher, Kyan Miller, with a chance to help his own cause, batting .257, no homers, 6 driven in. The lefty Bogan misses inside with ball 1. Now, a little bit different setup here with a lefty looking at the runner over at first.
Well, a lot of lefties coming around right now, right? A lefty running, a lefty pitching, and a lefty at the plate.
That's a strike on the outside corner, and the count evens at a ball and a strike.
Ivy Tech programs are made to prepare students for great careers and high-paying, high-demand jobs. Find the program meant for advancing you towards your career quickly and affordably. Classes that fit your busy life, in person, online, and in between. Enrollment is open. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
Miller choking up on that bat in the left-handed box, but again, Bogan throw it over to first. Schreiner Landis likes to run, not only on the baseball diamond, but he's a cross-country runner as well. A little bit different skill set. The pitch. That one misses down low.
It's interesting how much he was preoccupied with the runner on first base, having an 0-2 count.
Ransberger, even with the bag over at third. Oh, this time Bogan doesn't even bother to step, but Schreiner Landis easily dives back in.
Never hurts for a pitcher to have different ways to throw over to first base to keep guys on their toes. Maybe not to catch them, but to at least keep them thinking about it.
That pitch misses down low. You see the Tire Rack scoreboard count now 2-2. to Kyan Miller. There goes the runner. The pitch bounced back to the pitcher, Bogan, his only play at first. So Du Bois stays out of the double play by starting the runner.
Absolutely, and a fantastic play there by the pitcher to get this. Take a look at the replay here as this one comes hot shot up the middle, and Bogan quickly getting the glove on it to make the easy out at first. But as Chuck mentioned, could have been a double play with how quickly he got that ball. But instead, with the runner on the move, it's a runner on second now with 1 out.
Colton Rapp, the batter now for Goshen, batting 171. Swing and a miss there. Rapp, one of the many sophomores trying to contribute to this Goshen team. 6 of the 13 players on this roster are sophomores. The factoid's brought to us by RMH Insurance Group. That one skipping rope that time is Colton Rapp. And the count goes to 1-1.
He gets a smile and a laugh from J.J. Du Bois.
Well, he's already shown some agility behind the plate tonight with the diving bare-hand catch.
Way back in that batter's box.
Swing and a miss. He was tardy on the Bogan fastball, and the count goes to 1-2. Rapp, a member of the Red Hawk football team with a new head coach in Joey Hecklinski, the former St. Joe standout. Here's the 1-2. Inside, it nearly hit him again. And a nice stop by Mashak behind the plate to keep it in front of him. It's 2-2.
Now time called here, as everyone will look to reset here for a split second. Big hole there at short.
Detkowski goes to cover it a little bit. Inside out swing, sends this one out to Mason Warren and right. Tagging at second is Quinn Schreiner-Landis, and he'll make it into third easily. So a runner at third with 2 away for the Red Hawks, and it'll bring up the DH, Carter Markham. That's some pretty good base running by Quinn Schreiner-Landis because Warren wasn't all that deep in right field.
Now you know why they were checking him at first base so much, because they know his threat on the Bates pass, and you saw it right there. I didn't think he was going to take off. It looked like it was a very well designed play there or a good job by Northwood to prevent it from being advancing the runner, and he was able to go anyway.
Carter Markham takes that pitch down low for ball 1. Markham batting 158 on the year. He's a 3-sport athlete at Goshen, where he also plays football and basketball. There's a strike on the outside corner in the count 1-1. Boy, the 3-sport athlete, that is a growing rarity in high school sports these days.
No question about that, especially with a school of this size, to be able to have that.
The 1-1. Tap towards the second baseman. Schrock fields, fires, gets him, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. After 1.5, still scoreless in Appanee. Friends, this edition of the TV 46 High School Baseball Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Reliance. Design, build, renovate. You see Lou Brown, the veteran, working this one with Philip Colburn. The IHSA always looking for more officials. It was nice to see our buddy Jimmy Arnett was down in Indianapolis, or actually I believe in Newcastle over the weekend, where the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame was honoring people, and Jimmy was one of the honorees, along with Marilyn Coddens of South Bend, Washington, and Nan Tulchinsky of Adams High School. But Nan worked really kind of all over the South Bend community schools.
First South Bend athletic director that was a female. Certainly did you always saw her in Notre Dame as well. She was the scorebook for both men's and women's basketball for 30-plus years. Just a fantastic lady, and as well as Marilyn Coddens. Great to see both of them going into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to both.
Bo Patterson checks his swing on a strike on the outside corner from Kyan Miller. Bo batting .298. Look at that wide stance. 2 homers, 14 runs batted in. The All-NLC selection from a year ago takes another breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Goshen Home Medical is proud sponsor of Goshen and Northwood High School athletics. Goshen Home Medical is committed to providing top-of-the-line respiratory and home medical products, as well as courteous, responsive service.
Boy, Kai and Miller like a tailor out there. A little nip, a little tuck, have a seat. Marquee Health sponsors the third straight strikeout for Mr. Miller as he gets Patterson on 3 pitches.
Now batting second baseman, number 16, Nathan Schrock.
Here's Nathan Schrock, the second baseman, batting 128. No homers, but he does have 7 runs batted in. Quiet young man who likes to lead by example out there, and a swing and a miss, and Kai Miller's got it going on right now.
Yeah, he had 3 batters he took to 3-2 pitches in that first inning, but now he is really settled in and is dealing.
The 0-1. Popped up on the infield. Who wants it? The shortstop, Klein, calls for it and squeezes it for the catch. There's 2 away. Brings up the catcher, Carson Mashak. Young man who's committed to play baseball at IUSB. 270 hitter with a homer and 9 runs batted in. You'll meet him
Catcher, number 6,
one of our Tony Letcher student athletes of the week. Had a hot bat as of late, 4 hits in his last 7 at-bats. Miller starts him with a strike on the outside corner. You ask any pitching coach, they'll tell you there is no greater pitch than strike 1.
I like strike 3.
Yeah, but you got to get strike 1 before you can get there, my friend. Here's a bunt back towards the mound. Miller calmly backhands, fires to first, and he pulled Castillo off the bag. Mashak is safe on the error on Miller. For the Redhawks, only their 26th error of the season. But you see it again on the 46 replay. Tried to muscle up on it.
Number 8,
And Castillo not able to keep his foot on the bag.
J.J. Du Bois telling us before the game that Miller is the type that doesn't get rattled. He doesn't show much emotion. That's one of the few plays that maybe can get into a pitcher's head. We'll see if it does, or whether or not he can settle right back into that form he showed throughout this last few batters, dating back to last inning.
Didn't stop him from strike 1 there to Landon Perry. Left fielder hitting .257, no homers, 7 driven in. You remember him from the football team here on 46, where he had a monster season at running back and was an all-NLC selection. But he's been a 3-year varsity baseball player for A.J. Reisdorf as well. Miller's 0-2. Little tap out towards second base. Easy catch out there for Bontrager, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, an error and a man left. After 2, the pitchers are dominating on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT, where quality is a way of life. What a gorgeous ballpark they have here, the Field of Dreams here in Napanee. If you like the field turf here, well, guess what? They're putting it in on Andrews Field as well as a brand new track. And we'll have to look forward to seeing that next fall. But during the spring, the NLC has been a busy place. Northwood just a game behind Warsaw, tied there with Mishawaka, but a host of contenders.
Yeah, and it is, you play a home and home with everybody. So this game is the last game of the first half of the NLC slate. And as we mentioned in the open, Northwood 4-2 in league play. Those 2 losses both in extra innings. So they've been right there in every single one of these conference games. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding area since 1969. They're committed to what they do and are here to serve you for your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
That's Peyton Bontrager, the second baseman, batting .270, a homer. That happened against Fairfield, 3 driven in. And he fouls away the first pitch from Mason Bogan, who has been as advertised so far. He's allowed 1 base runner when he hit a batter to lead off the second. Bogan has had a couple of really good outings this year in the NLC. He buckled the knees of Bontrager but missed inside. Now we count 1-1. Bogan threw 4 innings of 2-hit ball against Concord, and then 5 innings and allowed 4 hits, striking out 9 against Warsaw. Strike on the inside corner to Bontrager, and the count goes to 1-2. Catcher sets up outside, and Bogan throws a beauty. Curveball, table for one, no waiting in the Goshen dugout, and that is the second strikeout of the night for Mason Bogan. You'll get another look on the 46 Sports replay.
And what I love about this was he was going inside, then they set up and go outside, and really just had him mentally all messed up in terms of where they were going to throw that ball, and they caught him looking.
Backdoor slider for Bogan. Here's Caden Whitty, who takes a pitch high and away. Whitty, the third baseman, batting .333. No homers and 5 runs batted in for the transfer from Edwardsburg. Fouls this one out of play. The count 1-1.
If you're looking to build a new home or renovate your current home, contact Reliance. Serving Northern Indiana and Southwest Michigan, Reliance has a reputation for excellence year after year. Visit RelianceDBR.net for more info. Reliance, design, build, renovate. Reliance, of course, big supporters of Northwood. They're located right here in Napanee.
I think that breaking ball might have fooled Lou Brown. 2-1. High and away, and the count goes to 3-1 on Whitty, with the top of the order and Callan Miller up next.
Don't want to let this free base runner get there. The top of the order coming.
And the breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, and the count goes full at 3-2.
Just got that one. Now we'll see what he does with the full count here.
The payoff pitch to Caden Whitty coming from Mason Bogan. Line drive, left field. It'll drop in front of Landon Perry for the first base hit for either team tonight. And Whitty, the 9-hole hitter, delivers.
Bogan made him earn it, and he certainly did with a nice drive here to left field, as you can see. And now an opportunity here for Goshen with a runner on first base with one out as we turn it over here to the top of the order and Callan Miller.
Callan Miller bounced out to shortstop his first time up. Good handler of the bat, but with that .431 average, don't be surprised if J.J. Du Bois has him swinging away. A lot of room between first and second, with the second baseman Schrock shaded up the middle. And Miller takes a breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
Whitty not getting much of a lead there over at first either, so it does not appear like he's going to be a threat to steal here, especially against the lefty Bogan.
That pitch bounces in, and a nice stop by the catcher Meshack. 1-1 the count.
This game's health tip brought to you by HealthLink. Taking care of your mental health is as important as your physical health. Schedule a checkup at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers mental, dental, vision, behavioral health, and more.
The pitch to Miller. Line towards center field, but Nate Reed is there. Or, excuse me, Connor Reed, and he makes the catch. 2 down, a runner at first for Braxton Klein, the sophomore shortstop.
RMH Insurance Group proudly supports the high school student athletes playing today. RMH Insurance Group provides insurance policies written correctly with no hidden risks or surprises. Don't sacrifice coverage for price. Receive a free quote and begin the protection you really need.
Klein takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Klein probably with about the most pop of anybody in this Goshen lineup. Not only with a homer, but he leads the team with 7 doubles. The pitch way outside, the count 1-1. It's a fairly big ballpark here at the Field of Dreams, so if Klein could hit one into the gap, that might be enough to score Whitty from first. Here comes the 1-1. Instead, Bogan over to first, and Whitty was practically sprawled on the bag by the time Bogan let go of the ball.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he even bothered to go over, but yeah, Whitty is getting a bigger lead than he was earlier in that bat, but still certainly not a threat to run with that little of a lead at this point.
High and away, it's 2-1, although you would think the mentality here would be, okay, you run him to get him into scoring position so that only a base hit has to bring him home.
Okay, that is a bigger lead. Now he could be going. That is a much bigger lead than what he's had.
And again, the throw over to first, and he dives back in safely.
It could be Whitty was just I got to check out the lefty, make sure I don't get myself caught, and then slowly getting a bigger lead as he believes he's figured out the move over to first base.
Well, Bogan certainly tried to wear Whitty out with all these up-downs over at first base. 2-1 the count. Here it comes. Hit high in the air out towards right field. Backing up a little bit is Mason Warren. Still going back, and it drops in. And Whitty gets the go-ahead from J.J. DuBois. He'll score. Klein stops at third. It's a 1-0 Goshen lead.
He never seemed to really have track of this one. As you take a look at the replay, he just seems to be fooled the whole way of where this is going. And it went right over his head, right over his glove.
The wind toyed with it. Scoreboard gives a base hit on that one, the second hit, so that'll be a triple for Klein. An RBI, and it brings up Damian Castillo. And Castillo is swinging a miss at a changeup, and it's 0-1. So the Redhawks get the first big break of the game with that fly ball into right field that drops behind Warren. And the pitch, a breaking ball that misses down low, and the count goes to 1-1. Castillo, a strikeout victim of Bogan, his first time up. Here's the 1-1. That misses low. It's 2-1, and Quinn Schreiner-Landis waits on deck. Castillo, a senior, batted .316 a year ago. He taps one back towards the mound. It's fielded by Bogan. The throw to first is low, and Patterson can't come up with it. Another run will score. It's 2-0 Goshen. That's an error on the pitcher, Bogan. And the defense for Northwood letting the Panthers down here in the third.
Now batting right fielder, number 10.
Take a look at this again. It had a good hop, so he didn't have to bend down too much, but then he throws low at Patterson, who can't make the snag over at first base.
And here's Quinn Schreiner-Landis. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. He really crowds the plate in that left-handed batter's box. And he was nearly hit by that one as well, but it's called a strike on the inside corner, and it's 0-1.
Sometimes on those ones back to the mound, if it's low, they're having trouble getting it over to first base because of that. But that one, it had a good hop, so that was really a play that Bogan could have made.
And apparently they've broken out the run sombrero over in the Goshen dugout. You get a bowl of soup with that head or what? Whoever was the last player to score, where's the sombrero? It's Klein with it adorning his noggin right now as the count goes to 1-1. Mason Bogan thought he was out of the inning with a fly ball to right. Instead, Goshen has played at 2 and still batting here in the third as Schreiner-Landis fouls that one to the first base coach, and the count 1-2.
See if Bogan can get out of this inning now. I imagine he's got to be extremely frustrated. Had an opportunity to end the inning himself. Had a teammate that maybe could have ended on a tough play that the wind took in right field.
The runner goes and the pitch way outside, and Castillo has himself a stolen base. Not known for the wheels, but he gets the theft right there. And now he's in scoring position for Quinn Schreiner-Landis with a count of 2-2. And this ball's driven down the right field line. Warren going over by the strike makes the catch to retire the side. But in the inning, Goshen is able to pick up a couple of runs on 2 hits. The big blow, the triple by Braxton Klein, which scored Caden Whitty. After 2.5, Redhawks lead it 2-0 on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by the Purdue Northwest College of Nursing, helping you realize your potential. That's something Kyan Miller is certainly doing for the Goshen Redhawks out on the mound. And get a whiff of this factoid from the RMH Insurance Group. As with 3 strikeouts tonight, this is up to the moment. Miller now 4th in the NLC, and he's got Northwood's Connor Reed in his sights. He might even be able to catch JT Tabor before the night is over.
One thing that has impressed me most about the way he pitches is how quickly he throws the ball. He is fast moving and easily going after the batter, certainly. So I've been impressed with that. Ivy Tech credits transfers to more than 100 colleges and universities in Indiana and outside the state. They offer more than 20 degrees, qualifying for guaranteed admission at the largest 4-year institutions in the state. With classes that fit your busy schedule in person, online, and in between, enrollment is open. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
Ryder Ransberger steps in, the third baseman batting right-handed, takes the first pitch from Kyan Miller outside for a ball. Ryder batting 200, no homers, and 8 RBI, and a good salad going on under that helmet. 1-0, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Ryder was the backup quarterback for Nate Andrews' football team this year and the Mental Attitude Award winner. That one misses down low. What you may not know about Ryder Ransberger has nothing to do with athletics. He participates in 4-H. No, he doesn't grow cattle or pigs or anything like that. He's in baked foods. I consume many of them. I don't cook many. Here's Castillo fielding the grounder, flipping to Miller for the put out at first, and there's one away.
Choosing the right equipment takes more than research or buying based on price. Select Goshen Home Medical, your local respiratory and home medical equipment provider. Knowledgeable and caring staff ensures you get the care you need. Visit the showroom on South Main Street today.
Back to the top of the order, the pitcher Mason Bogan, who walked and stole a base his first time up. After that 21-pitch first inning, here we are in the bottom of the third, and Miller has only had 35 pitches so far, but he'll need some more because Bogan just singled to right. He continues the torrid hitting, now 9 of his last 15 at the plate. You'll get another look on the 46 Sports replay. Good solid swing.
Absolutely, helping himself out, getting himself on base, trying to make up for that last inning where 2 runs came in. He's been on base now in both at-bats here so far here tonight. Now the question is, can they get a run in?
Well, he stole the bases last time, and he's got a nice lead over there now, and Miller saw it too and throws over there.
Miller was checking him quite a bit last inning. I imagine he's going to be checking him quite a bit here on this at-bat, especially after he got that stolen base last inning.
Defensive play of the game happened last time Nate Dutkowski was up as he tried to bunt, and the catcher, Colton Rapp, made a diving bare-hand grab behind home plate.
They tried to advance him on the bunt, and then they couldn't.
Defense bunching Dutkowski up the middle. Another throw over to first.
He might have been going there. He was thinking about it.
Nate Dutkowski's brother, Alec, the reigning city golf champ here in Napanee. He just owns the McCormick Creek layout. And Alec, a former 46 Sports Student Athlete of the Week. There goes the runner. The pitch is fouled away as A.J. Reisdorf calls the hit and run, but they couldn't put it into play.
Bourbon Street Pizza is serving up slices of happiness in Napanee, featuring the freshest ingredients, the cheesiest goodness, and that perfect crust you can't resist. Visit Bourbon Street Pizza in Napanee today or find out more at bourbonpizza.com. And a big thank you to Bourbon Street Pizza for feeding the production crew prior to the game.
1-1 to count. The pitch outside. It's 2-1.
It was so good that we barely had any slices left for Chuck and I by the time we got over there.
That's for sure. A crew devouring tonight.
And they were very happy with the brownies from Bourbon Street Pizza. Those
Yes,
they were tasty as well. I ended up having one.
Nate Dutkowski at the plate, but it's Bogan getting the bulk of the attention right now from Kyan Miller with the repeated throws over to first. And that's a balk. Miller stepped towards the plate, then turned towards first.
Miller's actually arguing about it, which I'm not really sure how.
Now, once he sees the replay, he won't be arguing. And you'll get another look here on the 46 Sports replay. Watch the foot come towards home plate. Then, well, that was the pitch before. But the foot came towards home plate.
If he did that, he would have been okay.
So runner on second now, and a 2-1 count on Dutkowski. Looking for his 8th RBI of the season. And he takes that one up and in, 3-1. With Connor Reed waiting on deck, and Colton Rapp will go out to have a word with his pitcher and just try to get him settled down. J.J. Du Bois bringing a baseball out of the dugout as well.
Marquee Health is proud to support Goshen Baseball and the entire athletic department. Learn more about Marquee Health at marqueehealth.com. Let's go Redhawks.
Three balls and a strike on Dutkowski. That one's right down the middle, and it's 3-2.
It almost looked like he was taken all the way there because of the way Miller had been maybe rattled a little bit, because that was definitely the pitch you want to swing at on a 3-1. It's right in there.
Miller with a breaking ball, and Dutkowski serves it into left center field. Callan Miller makes the backhand catch. Nice job by the Redhawks center fielder. There's two away for Connor Reed, the center fielder for Northwood.
And we talk about Miller's speed, but you saw it right there. He made what was a pretty hard play look routine by how quickly he tracked that one down.
Reed was a strikeout victim of Miller his first time up. Reed had a big game against Elkhart this year. 3 hits and 4 RBI against the Lions. He takes that one down low for ball 1. Miller's staring in to get the sign. Doesn't seem to be as concerned with Bogan, and now time called by Reed.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend, globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering always working towards a great finish. Thank you, Imagineering, for your continued support of TV 46.
High fly ball into center field. Miller backing up a couple of steps and makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit. No errors and a man left. Goshen in control, leading 2-0 after 3 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. We're at the Field of Dreams in Napanee for Northern Lakes Conference baseball action. Actually, that's the softball complex over there, and we have softball on TV 46 next week. It'll be number 7 St. Joe taking on number 4 Penn for first place in the Northern Indiana Conference. That's why Bo couldn't be here tonight, because he had to rest up for that one. Some terrific pitchers featured in that game. You'll have Berkeley Zakay, who's headed to Oklahoma for St. Joe. Maybe we'll see Olivia Signorino. Maybe we'll see Aubrey Zachary for Penn. I guarantee you, you're going to want to tune in for that one. Tuesday night at 9, Friday night at 11, and Saturday morning at 9 on TV 46. Guy Miller, the pitcher, is in the box right now, and he swings at strike 1.
Lilliard Insurance Agency in Osceola believes in the importance of high school sports. They are locally owned and can assist with all your insurance needs. Visit realvalueins.com to learn more. Lilliard Insurance, real people, real service, real value.
Miller takes a strike on the corner. Quickly, Mason Bogan ahead, 0-2. Breaking ball hit back up through the box, fielded behind the bag, and throw to short from short, and it's in time. Patterson somehow kept his foot on the bag for the throw from Dutkowski, and there's one away.
Well, Dutkowski made up a lot of ground getting up over past second base to get that ball, and Patterson with a great job finishing it. As you take a look at the replay here, look at him. Comes over, Scoops a little high in the throw. Patterson just getting that foot down for the out.
Helps to have a big fella like Bo Patterson over there who stands about 6'3". Swing and a miss here by Colton Rapp, and it's 0-1. And a fastball outside corner, and Bogan has been money so far this inning, quickly ahead of hitters 0-2. Breaking ball just missed outside, and the count goes to 1-2 on the Red Hawk catcher.
He's done a nice job of regrouping after last inning, where really he didn't pitch poorly. It was just they weren't able to make a good defensive play, himself included, to get out of the inning.
Now way outside with that one, the count 2-2.
Misjudged the fly ball, and then the throwing error that Bogan had. 2 opportunities where they could have ended the inning before any runs scored, and were unable to do so. But pitching-wise, he's been fine.
And Rapp holds his swing on that one and has gone from 0-2 to 3-2. Only a sophomore, waiting for the pitch from Bogan. And it's a tap back to the mound. Bogan has it, throws to first. This one's accurate, and there's 2 away.
And that one was tough because he was stepping onto the mound to be able to throw that ball over to first, up on the hill as it went up. As you take a look at the replay here, this was actually far more difficult than the play earlier. The difference was there were runners on base last time, and that was a little bit of a more pressure situation. And this one he was able to connect.
So here's Carter Markham, the DH. He bounced out to the second baseman Schrock his first time up. Takes that one in the dirt, or in the turf, I should say here, because everything is field turf, and it's 1-0.
Time for new tires. Go to TireRack.com and try the easy-to-use tire decision guide to get a personalized tire recommendation. They sell only the best brands backed by best results, consumer ratings, and customer reviews. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Carson Mashak out there for a mound visit, and I can tell you what that mound visit was about, because Carson Mashak was looking for a different pitch than what Mason Bogan threw. So they had to make sure that they were on the same page. One and 0 the count on Markham. And there's a pitch on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. Patterson guarding the line at first. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. And Bogan really has Markham off balance. And Markham down because he goes down swinging, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mason Bogan. We're halfway home in Napanee with the Redhawks on top 2-0 on 46. And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Reliance. Design, build, renovate. Well, there's not such a fine line between winning and losing for the Northwood Panthers this year. When they win, the Panthers average 11 runs per game. But when they lose, they score just 2 per game. And considering they've got nothing through the first 3 innings tonight, it does not necessarily bode well for A.J. Reisdorf's team, although they have won some low-scoring games this year.
And then the other thing I'll say that's interesting is to add to that number of 2 per game when they've lost. They scored 7 in a loss last week against Mishawaka. So in a lot of those losses, they've been shut out or maybe only scored 1 run.
Well, they've only lost 4 games. They had 2 shutouts and they scored 1 in the other. So
yeah,
there you go. 10-4 coming in for this Northwood team, and they've got the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up here in the 4th. That means Mason Warren will start it off. He was a strikeout victim of Kyan Miller to end the first. Left-handed hitting right fielder. And Miller's first pitch misses upstairs for ball 1.
RMH Insurance Group is dedicated to safeguarding the people and businesses in our community. Customize insurance policies that give you peace of mind. Receive a free quote and explore the possibility of RMH Insurance Group.
Warren had the game-winning run in their victory over Tippecanoe Valley. That was one of their low-scoring wins, a 3-2 victory. Here he strokes one, and Castillo, the first baseman, ranges over to make the catch on the soft line drive. One away here in the Northwood fourth, and it brings up Big Bo Patterson. Patterson was our student athlete of the week during football in the semi-state against Leo. He's been pretty hot at the plate as of late. 7 hits in his last 14 at-bats. That includes his strikeout against Miller in the second. Miller worked him over with breaking balls that time, and he throws a change up here to start off, and it's 0-1.
He's one of the guys I don't like to interview in Student Athlete of the Week interviews because he makes me look even smaller than I already am. The one benefit in that interview, since it was freezing out, was I was so bundled up I looked a little bit bigger. Not in a good way, though.
And he still went out in shirt sleeves.
Well, he's Bo Patterson.
Yeah, 0-2 the count on Bo, who has had 4 multi-hit games this year and was the defensive lineman of the year for the Northwood football team. But Miller has thrown nothing but strikes to the big fella, and it's 0-2 here. Breaking ball missed upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. The lights are on here at the Field of Dreams on this overcast evening. Temperatures in the low 60s. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit on the ground to the third baseman, Whitty. He's got it on one hop, but throws wild. Patterson will head to second on a second error of the night for the Goshen Redhawks. Caden Whitty threw that one well wide of first base. You'll get another look here on the 46 Sports replay.
I mean, did a nice job getting it, but well off the mark throwing to first base in every aspect. It was low, was short, was wide.
Second baseman, number 16.
So we talked about this Northwood team being opportunistic. The fact they're only batting .242 as a team and yet scoring as well as they do. So when they get base runners, they normally knock them in. Well, here's Nathan Schrock's chance with one out here in the fourth. And Schrock takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. But again, another test of the composure of Kyan Miller, the thing we've heard about so many times with this Red Hawk pitcher from J.J. Du Bois as head coach. And a ground ball backhanded by the third baseman, Whitty. Long throw to first, and that one was perfect. And they throw to second, and they throw it into left field, but Patterson crouched down on second base, will stay there.
Well, I'll tell you what a play there by Whitty to bounce back from the mistake on the previous at-bat. That was a really difficult play, and he was able to control the emotions, right? It came right back at him, makes a nice play, throws it across, and a perfect strike to get the out.
Catcher, number 6.
If you play sports long enough, you get the chance to bounce back from adversity. And Whitty didn't have to wait long, about 2 pitches.
Well, A.J. Reisdorf's keys to him was next pitch mentality. It worked well for Goshen on that one in terms of composing themselves.
Carson Mashak reached on an error by the pitcher Miller his last time up. And Miller uncorks one high here for ball 1. There you see Bo Patterson out at second. Northwood has left a runner in every inning so far. Miller, also a terrific tennis player. And he serves up a fastball upstairs. Here it's 2-0. Kyan Miller was on the #1 doubles team for Goshen this year, and they were the regional champions. Two balls and no strikes. Fastball hit in the air towards right center field, ranging over the right fielder Quinn Schreiner. Landis makes the catch. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. An error and a man left. We have played 4. Our Tony Letcher Health Market student athletes are next here on 46.
Time now for our 46 Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher with Health Markets. We have a pair of baseball players here today. Carson Mashak, a senior at Northwood, along with Callan Miller, a senior with Goshen. Callan, we'll start with you. You're ranked in the top 40 in your senior class. As center fielder here for the baseball team. How do you balance it all between baseball and academics?
I really just try to time manage myself a lot, and I mean, I just try to, make sure to get my homework done, and I make sure to talk to my teachers if anything changes with the baseball schedule, and kind of try to work it out with them.
You'll play baseball and study exercise science at Manchester. You guys have done a lot of team activities in terms of service opportunities, adoptive families. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's brought the group together and how maybe that's helped you in terms of growing as a person.
Yeah, I mean, we all go out to Walmart together to buy. We have a certain amount of money that we fundraise, and we go out to Walmart together and we buy a family that usually isn't as fortunate some clothing and some toys, depending on what they want. We usually choose. They give us a list as well, and it kind of just brings our team together because we're in little groups and we talk to each other the whole time. We have fun, and we just try to provide for a family that's in need.
What does being a Goshen Redhawk mean to you?
It means a lot. I've been here all 4 years, and my JJ Du Bois is a great coach. I love him to death. And I mean, he's just always been there for me, and it's just been great to be a Red Hawk here at Goshen High School. And all the community, very nice people.
Alan, thank you very much. Congratulations. Carson Mashak, a senior catcher here for the Northwood Panthers, ranked 35th in his senior class. How do you balance it all?
Well, here at Northwood, we have arena scheduling, so I can try and schedule, my harder classes in the spring and the fall. And I can make it a little easier on myself in the spring, but there's definitely some late nights, but we get it all done.
You'll also play college baseball. You'll do so at IUSB, and you'll major in finance. But you also coach 14 and under baseball. Tell us a little bit why you choose to do that and what that experience is like for you.
So I got into it because the guy I work for in the summer, Mike Klotz, he's the head coach, and he asked everyone to help out. And I said, sure, I love giving back to the community that put so much into me. I love talking to the kids and just working with them.
What does being a Northwood Panther mean to you, and how has it prepared you for the future?
I mean, it means a lot, I was born and raised in Napanee, I always went to the baseball games growing up, and it's so cool to be a part of that now. And it's prepared me for the future by, giving me the skills I need to succeed, especially in college and then even after that.
Carson, thank you very much. Congratulations. Two great student athletes, baseball players who will play at the next level and, of course, continue their educations. Those are the 46 student athletes of the week presented by Tony Letcher with Health Markets. We have more of this great baseball game between Northwood and Goshen right after this.
Friends, this edition of the TV46 High School Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Ben Soft Pretzels. They're serving our community one pretzel at a time. And it reminds me that we should do our Ben Soft Pretzel trivia question. So, Anj, you came up with this one. What Northern Lakes Conference program has won the most baseball sectional titles? Now, normally I comprise the question, but I turned over the duties to you this week. I think you're sneaky.
Well, you're usually sneaky, actually. I'm usually more straightforward.
No, I'm just old. I have lots of ancient knowledge.
I'm just saying, usually I'm not the sneaky one, but maybe on this one I am. Ben Soft Pretzels has been supporting high school athletics since 2008. They believe that sports are an important part of a well-rounded education and are proud to support the next generation of athletes. Find Ben Soft Pretzels at the University Park Mall and at most major Notre Dame athletic events. Have a pretzel day.
Peyton Bontrager is the batter. He struck out looking his first time up. He takes a strike at the letters here, and it's 0-1. Bontrager doing a fine job at second base this year. His third year on the varsity. Takes that pitch down low, and the count 1-1.
I'll give you a hint. I mean, you would think the two teams involved would be part of that answer. You may be right. You may be wrong.
You may be crazy.
As Billy Joel would say.
Ground ball into left field and a base hit for Bontrager. Third hit of the day for the Redhawks. And they get the leadoff man aboard here in the fifth. You'll get another look here on the 46 Sports replay. Good solid swing that time by Bontrager.
Now batting third baseman, number 6, Caden Whitty.
Caden Whitty has one of the hits. He singled and scored as part of that two-run third. Whitty, the 9-hole hitter, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had him bunting here. The pitch. Nope, instead he rips a one-hopper to short. Dutkowski to second for one, the relay to first. That's a double play. The sixth turn by the Panthers this year.
Hey, he got a good hit there. Unfortunately, good contact here. Unfortunately, it's right out shortstop. for the 6-4-3.
Tailor-made for Nate Dudkowski, and an easy turn for Nathan Schrock. So 2 outs for Callan Miller, the center fielder, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He's bounced to short and line to center. And a swing and a miss here. Well, let's quickly answer that Ben Soft Pretzel trivia question. We asked you the team that's won the most baseball sectional titles. You said a hint might be one of the 2 teams here, but it's Plymouth, followed then by Goshen and Northwood.
See?
I told you, folks, he was sneaky.
Plymouth. But then, second and third, the 2 teams playing tonight. So there was a connection to the game.
That doesn't help you at the Derby.
Well, it does if you... I don't know.
That pitch misses
there are
low,
ways
1
that
and
can
2.
help you at the Derby. You just don't pick the winner. You go for place, you know? That's all.
In the words of Mike Singletary, we want winners. 1 and 2 the count. That one bounces in. The count goes to 2 and 2. Miller, just a strong young man in that right-handed batter's box. He may not look it, but he can deadlift 400 pounds. 2-2 pitch, bounce to the right of the second baseman Schrock. He backhand sets, fires, and got him by a step. Nice play by Nathan Schrock, and after allowing a leadoff single, it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mason Bogan. Stretch time in Napanee with Goshen up 2-zip on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by HealthLink, your community health center. That is Landon Perry, and he is one of the top thieves on the bases in the Northern Lakes Conference. Just 1 off the conference lead held by Carius Miller of Warsaw. And you see some other talent there, including Brecken Gothrop, who you saw last week for Northridge. But Perry, fleet of foot, they just got to get him on base. Northwood has had base runners in every inning, but still trails 2-zip.
Ivy Tech programs are made to prepare students for great careers in high-paying, high-demand jobs. Find the program meant for advancing you toward your career quickly and affordably. Classes that fit your busy life, in person, online, and in between. Enrollment is open. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
By the way, that little factoid we put up about Landon Perry, that's brought to you by our friends at the RMH Insurance Group. RMH. Perry lined out to second his first time up on a little humpback liner. Shows bunt here, takes down low for ball 1. Kyan Miller had a rocky first inning, went to full counts on 3 of the first 4 batters. He is only at 57 pitches through 4 innings. Perry again shows bunt, this time takes a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
Goshen Home Medical is a full-service home medical equipment provider that has been serving our community for more than 40 years. Being a local equipment provider makes getting the care you need as easy as possible. Goshen Home Medical, serving our community by helping patients live their best lives.
That breaking ball bounces away, and the count goes to 2-1. Third baseman Whitty playing even with the bag for the speedy Perry. Ground ball up the middle. The shortstop, Klein, makes a nice play and throws him out. That's a honey of a play by the sophomore.
Let's take a look at this replay here in a moment, I imagine. And you're absolutely right. Braxton Klein showing his versatility there at shortstop. Comes over, gets the glove on, and in stride, throwing to first. And, you know, really also a good job there by Damian Castillo making the snag to complete the play.
But Klein made that play look so smooth back there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he gave them so much time because of the way he just went in motion towards first base as he fielded it.
Ryder Ransberger, the batter, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Ransberger had 2 hits and 2 runs batted in Northwood's win over Marion earlier this year. Boy, the Knights have been hot as of late. They beat Ileana Christian over the weekend. As that pitch is a strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2.
I'm not sure how they're still not in the top 10 of the coaches poll, is Marion, but, you know, Sometimes the coaches have interesting perspectives.
Bouncer, slow roller. Klein fields and fires and threw it over the head of Castillo this time. Ransberger takes off for second. Rapp will throw down there, not in time, and Ransberger hustles into scoring position on the third Goshen error of the night. Well, this time Klein just muscles up on this throw a little too much. And yes, Ransberger can get down the line, but he's going to come out for a courtesy runner now as Aiden Jones will come into the game to run for him.
And Klein did everything you're supposed to do in that play, set himself up for success, and then just fired completely over his target.
Meanwhile, Mason Bogan will come up to bat. He's been on base both times tonight, a walk and a single. He also has a stolen base and a chance to help his own cause here. He has 9 RBI already on this season. Strike on the outside corner, nicely framed by Rapp, and it's 0-1. Of the 9 RBI Bogan has, 5 of them came in one game against Wawasee. 0-1 pitch, rifled foul, and it's 0-2.
Oh, that Wawasee game has produced the majority of his RBI. He's hoping right here to make it half. There's math.
Math is undefeated. 0-2 the count. Outfield playing Bogan to pull a little bit. They give him a lot of room in left center. The pitch, missing high, and the count 1-2.
This game's health tip brought to you by HealthLink. Taking care of your mental health is as important as your physical health. Schedule a checkup at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers mental, dental, vision, behavioral health, and more.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. The strikeout sponsored by Marquee Health, as Miller just went Powder River that time, and Bogan chased one that may have been out of the zone.
Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding areas since 1969. They're committed to what they do and are here to serve you for your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
Nate Dudkowski, the batter, 0 for 2 tonight. And that one in there at the knees for a strike. Well, so far, the Northwood offense has been like maybe your early dating. They get to second base, but there hasn't been any scoring. Here's a ground ball at Whitty. The third baseman throws across the diamond and gets his man, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left. At the end of 5, 2-0 Goshen on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Tire Rack. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. You're looking at J.J. Du Bois in his 6th season as the Goshen head coach. He's a Jimtown and Bethel alum. Then he went to be an assistant coach at Grace College. Spent 2 years as the Goshen JV coach before he took the Redhawks job. And his father is the current Goshen superintendent. But the also interesting thing about his family is his brother is a professional country music artist.
Wow. That is very interesting.
Braxton Klein will lead off the inning here for the Redhawks, and he takes a strike on the inside corner from Mason Bogan, who has pitched a very solid game, but a misplay in right and his own error back in the 3rd inning led to the 2 Goshen runs. Klein was the beneficiary of the misplay in right. He wound up with a triple and then came around to score on the error back in the 3rd. The 1-1 pitch to Braxton, swing and a miss on a dandy slow curve, and it's 1-2.
I'll say this about the Du Bois family. JJ's mom, the real superstar in that family. Just point that out.
I don't think anybody's going to argue. 1-2 pitch here to Klein, taken outside, the count 2-2.
RMH Insurance Group, dedicated to safeguarding the people and businesses in our community. Customized insurance policies that give you peace of mind. Receive a free quote and explore the possibility of RMH Insurance Group.
They've been our factoid sponsor tonight. 2-2 to Klein, bounced on 2 hops to Dudkowski at short. He comes up throwing and gets his man. Nate Dutkowski with another nice play over at shortstop. There's one away, and it brings up Damian Castillo, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out looking in the first and reached on an error back in the third. Castillo had a big 3-hit game against Mishawaka this year. And at one point this season had a 4-game hit streak. It's a hard ground ball on 2 hops to Schrock at second. There's quickly 2 away in the Redhawks 6th.
Some activity starting up now in the Northwood bullpen in addition to Goshen, but the way Mason Bogan is pitching here in this inning, I imagine they're going to be pretty pleased with the way he's going right now, but both sides starting to get some activity going.
Yeah, I don't think Kyan Miller's coming out of this game anytime soon either.
Neither pitcher has thrown a lot of pitches at this point in the game, so that bodes well for both of them. But you got to have someone ready in this situation just in case.
Quinn Schreiner Landis with a swing and a miss at a Bogan curve, and it's 0-1. Schreiner Landis, 3.7 GPA. At one time participated in the state chess championships.
How'd he do?
Well, he didn't win, but
he made it. That's
only one does. And it was when he was back in 6th grade. Count 1-1. That pitch outside, and it goes to 2-1 now.
You a chess guy?
I've played a little bit when I was a kid. I haven't played in a long time.
I can only play on a computer. Can't remember the rules when I'm playing in person.
I did introduce the bishop of the diocese, Bishop Rhodes, once, and I said, you all know him. He's the one who moves diagonally.
Well done.
2-2 the count on Quinn Schreiner Landis, who is double checking the count with Lou Brown behind home plate.
It says 1-2 on the scoreboard.
I know what it says on the scoreboard. I'm telling you what the count is. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a ground ball foul, and we'll do it all again. Mason Bogan trying to have another 1-2-3 inning. He's had 2 of them already today, and 3 if you include the double play back in the 5th. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside. I've got it as a full count. We'll see. Yep, Lou Brown says so as well. Three and 2 the count on Quinn Schreiner Landis with the pitcher Kyan Miller waiting on deck. Payoff pitch. Tap foul, and that one got a good piece of the foot of Schreiner Landis.
Gonna have to walk that one off. Ivy Tech credits transfer to more than 100 colleges and universities in Indiana and outside the state. They offer more than 20 degrees, qualifying for guaranteed admission at the largest 4-year institutions in the state, with classes that fit your busy schedule in person, online, and in between. Enrollment is open. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
Right off the instep. And Schreiner Landis taking his time, shaking that one off.
The only thing that scared me more in my baseball days than the cold weather, because facing a fast-throwing pitcher scared a lot out of me on those ones, was hitting myself. Luckily, I never hit the ball, so I didn't have to worry about hitting the ball off of myself too much.
My son took a foul ball right into his eye.
Oh.
In his first game of the pitching machine league in Little League.
Which one?
Peter,
That
the
explains
oldest.
a lot.
Yeah. 3-2 pitch, and Schreiner Landis takes inside for ball 4. Second time he's reached base today. Both of them on free passes. Once he was hit, this time he's walked. And with 2 away, it brings up the pitcher Kyan Miller, who has grounded out twice today.
Well, Schreiner Landis certainly earned that one, right? And he gets himself to first base, and we'll see if he has any wheels after that.
He does have 6 stolen bases on the year. Bogan delivers, and Miller gets out of the way of a pitch that hits the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
Nothing like backing him off the plate and still getting this strike called.
No balls, no strike to the Red Hawk pitcher. Hits a little looper out towards Dutkowski, who makes the diving catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man left to the bottom of the 6th. It's getting late for the Panthers, trailing 2-zip. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, putting people over products.
Well, as the theme song for the WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes is blasting here at the Field of Dreams, AJ Reisdorf on his love of Cody Rhodes finishing the story at WrestleMania.
Oh, I was extremely proud, emotional that he when it happened. But I will say, now he has to retain it and fight for it, especially here in coming weeks against Backlash.
I knew I shouldn't have let you interview Reisdorf tonight.
You're the one that set it up. You started making fun of me about wrestling, and then Reisdorf immediately came to my defense.
Leading off the bottom.
Good man there, AJ.
Like you jumped over the top rope on that one. I'll tell you, AJ, though, comes from a baseball family, not a wrestling family. He played baseball for IPFW, and his dad, Randy, became a coach at the age of 19. Here's Connor Reed, the center fielder, 0 for 2 tonight, facing Kyan Miller. It's a hard ground ball into right field, a base hit. And Northwood wonders if that'll be the spark here in the 6th, trailing 2-0. Reed batting .333 on the year, and he keeps that mark with this sharp single past the diving Castillo at first.
Now batting right fielder.
Reed with 5 steals on the year. And here's Mason Warren, who's 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout and a line out to first. Third baseman Whitty in on the green-colored part of the turf. He's expecting Warren to lay down a bunt. And Warren does square and takes outside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Goshen Home Medical is committed to providing top-of-the-line respiratory and home medical products as well as courteous, responsive service. Visit the showroom on South Main Street today.
Miller looks in to get the sign from his catcher, Colton Rapp. The 1-0. Warren pulls the bat back, and the ball squirts away from the catcher. Reed was already on his way to second. That'll be a stolen base. So runner on second, nobody out, and Warren at the plate. And he asks for time, and he gets it.
Well, now, I mean, Ure squared around, right? Do you put the bunt down here and get him to third so you can try to drive in a run?
Well, you got a left-handed hitter. Do you think he can pull Kyan Miller? Because he could maybe pull it, or a lot of room between the second baseman and second base right now, as that one misses inside, and the count goes to 3-0.
They are certainly playing him like he will pull it. I mean, if he can get one up the middle, just on the right side of that second base, I mean, you're scoring a run here.
Here on 3-0, you might have him taken all the way. In fact, you might have him take 2 in a row.
Okay, here we go.
Because you've got your big power hitter in Bo Patterson waiting on deck. And he can change this result with one swing of the bat. Miller throws to second, but the runner Reed was practically standing on the base. The wind is somewhat inconsistent right here at the Field of Dreams. If you look at the flag out past the right field pole, as there's a strike on the outside corner, it's 3-1. It seems to be blowing decently hard, maybe 8 to 10 miles an hour. The one in left center, not as strong.
Also, they're blowing in different directions.
Here's the pitch. That one missed outside. Ball 4. The second walk issued tonight by Kyan Miller. And the biggest threat of the night for the Northwood Panthers. The first time they've had 2 runners on base at the same time. First and second, nobody out, and here's Bo Patterson.
Patterson an opportunity here. And one thing Northwood can't afford in this situation would be a double play.
First baseman Castillo playing with his life in on the green part of the turf as Patterson takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that against Bo
No,
Patterson.
thank you.
Now, granted, he's a right-hand hitter, so most likely he would pull it, but still.
Here's the 0-1. Popped up. Right side of the infield. Second baseman and first baseman conversion. Castillo makes the catch, and there's one away. I don't think they ever called the infield fly rule there because, well, the catch has to be made with ordinary effort, and that was not ordinary effort.
He almost had a runner interference there as well. He almost collided as he was going back to first base, so that could have been in play there
So
as
we've
well.
got a pinch hitter coming to the plate here for the Northwood Panthers.
Dawson Kemp, a senior.
Actually, this is Matt Earl.
I'm sorry. That's 24 is Kemp. My bad.
Pinch hitter for
Matt
Northwood
Earl.
Panthers, number 34, Matt Earl.
Is a pinch hitter. And he'll come up here with runners at first and second, trying to supply a little bit more power for the Panthers. Working against the righty, Kyan Miller. And the pitch, Earl takes high for ball one. Earl is primarily known for his pitching, but we'll see if he can deliver right here. The 1-0. Taken at the knees for a strike. It's 1-1. Connor Reed, the runner at second. Mason Warren at first. Outfield deep and straight away. The pitch. Curveball outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. And you get the feeling if Kyan Miller throws one more of those, he might have another strikeout. He's got to stop and tie his shoe for a second. As though we were back at the Little League Park. 1-2 the count on Earl. And the pitch. Breaking ball, and he got a slice of it and fouls it off into the Redhawk bullpen, where the ball boy makes a nice catch. It remains 1-2 on the Northwood pinch hitter. His first at bat of the season. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss of the slider. It's sponsored by Marquee Health as Miller racks up another strikeout. That's 5 on the night for Kyan Miller. 2 out, still 2 on, and here's Carson Mashak, the catcher. Mashak is 0 for 2. He reached on an error in the second and flew out to right in the fourth.
Had 2 runners on base with nobody out. And you yet to score a run in this game. You'd really like to not waste this opportunity and make sure you get Laurie Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates some mentions as the scoring sponsor for the Northwood Panthers here tonight.
Well, she just had one there. 0-1, the count on Mashak. And the pitch. Breaking ball fouled off the mask of the catcher Rapp, and it's 0-2.
Marquee Health is proud to support Goshen baseball and the entire athletic department. Learn more about Marquee Health at marqueehealth.com. Let's go Redhawks.
J.J. Du Bois came out of the dugout to check on Rapp after he took that shot off the helmet. That's also why Lou Brown, the umpire, went out to the mound just to give Rapp a moment to clear the cobwebs. No balls, 2 strikes on Mashak with Landon Perry waiting on deck. 2 on, 2 out, and Redhawks try to protect a 2-run lead. The pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's a little show of emotion from Kyan Miller as he gets to back-to-back strikeouts sponsored by Marquee Health. No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 left through 6. Still 2-0 Goshen. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Basney Honda, proud to be your go-to resource for all things automotive. Defensive changes aplenty for the Panthers. The pitcher, Mason Bogan, has moved to left field. The left fielder, Landon Perry, has moved to right. The right fielder, Mason Warren, has come in to play first base. The new second baseman is Ty Stankovic. He'll be DH for by Bo Patterson. And we have a new pitcher as well, because that's Nathan Schrock moving in from second base. Schrock making his 6th appearance of the season. He's 1-1 with an 0.95 ERA and 7 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 9 hits, 5 runs, 1 of them earned, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. And he'll be working against the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the Goshen lineup, with the Redhawks leading 2-0 here in the 7th.
Bourbon Street Pizza is serving up slices of happiness in Napanee, featuring the freshest ingredients, the cheesiest goodness, and that perfect crust you can't resist. Visit Bourbon Street Pizza in Napanee today or find out more at bourbonstreetpizza.com. A big thank you to Bourbon Street Pizza for feeding the production crew prior to the game. And Bourbon Street Pizza, our 7th inning sponsor.
Reminder, it's going to be a terrific May on TV 46 for spring sports. We've got that Top 10 softball showdown next week on 46, number 7 St. Joe, number 4 Penn. And then we close with a couple of track events. The Warsaw girls sectional, Josefina Rastrelli among the stars expected to shine there. And the boys track regional from Goshen. Boy, Penn looked awfully good last week. Kellen Watson, Elijah Coker, they've been flying around, but there's a whole lot of great track talent in the area. We'll have it for you on TV 46. Colton Rapp 0 for 2 tonight. And Nathan Schrock delivers. Missing outside for ball 1.
Squared around like he was going to bunt there.
Schrock, only a sophomore. And the pitch bounce. Oh, what a behind the back play by Schrock. Call him NMM. He won the rap battle with a honey of a play. You can hang a star on this one. See it again on the 46 replay.
Wow, I didn't think we could possibly get a better play than what we had earlier by the catcher, but behind the back, da-da-da, da-da-da. Let's send that one in for SportsCenter's Top 10. Holy moly.
Terrific play by Nathan Schrock. 1 out. And here's Carter Markham, the DH. Ground ball fielded by the first baseman. Easy pickup down there for Warren, and there's quickly 2 away in the Redhawks 7th. Let's see that behind the back grab one more time, because this was terrific. I'm not sure whether Schrock caught the ball or the ball caught him, but either way,
he was all over it, man. I mean, he knew, he was looking down, and he was just hoping his glove was finding where his eyes were going, because he was on top of that one. It was great defense.
Here's a high fly ball into left center field. Reed, the center fielder, makes the catch, and the Redhawks go down 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. Last bats for the Panthers. 2 will tie it, 3 will walk it off. 2-0 Redhawks on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Might be hard for Kyan Miller to feel real comfortable out there on the mound right now. He is working on a shutout against the rival Northwood Panthers and just 3 outs away, but here comes Landon Perry, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Miller has tossed a 2-hitter. He has stranded runners in every inning. And the pitch to Perry misses outside for ball 1. He has worked from the stretch more than a Peloton instructor, but he has been successful in keeping the Panthers off the board. The 1-0, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
Amazingly, he's only thrown 87 pitches here tonight despite all that, and it started all the way back in the first when he had, 3 of his first 4 batters full count.
And a breaking ball outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. Ryder Ransberger waits on deck. Miller calm out there on the hill, at least on the outside. And the 1-2. Did he go? No. And the count's 2-2. Don't forget to stay with us afterwards. We'll have our player of the game. And strike 3 called. Perry didn't like it, but Miller broke off another curveball. And that's his 3rd straight strikeout. It's sponsored by Marquee Health, his 7th of the night.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend, globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working towards a great finish. Thank you, Imagineering, for your continued support of high school sports on TV 46.
Ransberger 0 for 2. He takes a breaking pitch. That one's a little low, ball 1. The only hits for Northwood tonight from Bogan in the 3rd and Reed in the 6th. Here's a one-hopper to the shortstop. Klein has it over to first, 2 down. We told you in the beginning that Goshen, despite the 5-8 record, 2-4 in the league, a dangerous team. They had just knocked off the league leader, Concord, last week, starting a revolving door around first place in the Northern Lakes Conference. And now, here they are, 1 out away from knocking off another one of the conference big dogs in Northwood, who started the night 4-2 in the league. Mason Bogan, the last hope for the Panthers. And the pitch, up and in for ball 1.
Bogan, sensational job, really, pitching here tonight. Unfortunately, just has not been able to get any runs on the offensive side for the Panthers.
He would be the tough luck loser if this one were to hold up. 2-0 the count. And Colton Rapp will go out to have a word with Miller, who has been terrific tonight. Two and 0 the count on Mason Bogan. 1 for 2 tonight. He also walked as well as a base hit, and he takes that one outside. It's 3-0. Nate Dutkowski waits on deck. The 3-0. That one's Powder River at the letters, and it's 3-1. Miller working as though he's double parked. Strike 2 on the inside corner. Bogan was ready to toss the bat away, but that was a good-looking pitch. And now the count goes full. 3-2 with 2 away. The payoff pitch coming from young Kyan Miller. Taken high for ball 4, and the hope still breathes for the Northwood Panthers in the person of Nate Dutkowski. Dutkowski does have a home run this year. It came in the season opener against West Noble. Came into the action batting .356 with a homer and 7 knocked in. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Right-handed hitter against the righty Miller. And it wouldn't be an inning for Kyan Miller without a base runner, would it? Here's a strike. It's 0-1. Northwood has had runners on in every inning. Just like Gilligan's Island, they have stranded 7. The 0-1. Outside corner for a strike, and the Panthers are down to their last strike.
See if they send Bogan here on 0-2.
0-2 on Dutkowski. Miller checks the runner at first, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and what a performance by Kyan Miller of Goshen. The right-hander with another strikeout to end the game, sponsored by Marquee Health. Fanned 4 of the last 6 batters he faced. 8 on the night. He twirls a 2-hitter and beats Northwood by a count of 2-0, and you'll hear from him when we come back on 46.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
The always unpredictable Northern Lakes Conference serves up another one as the road team wins tonight. Goshen comes over to Napanee and thwarts Northwood by a count of 2-0. Chuck Freeby and Angelo DiCarlo welcoming you inside the Reliance broadcast booth. Reliance, design, build, renovate. We thought the big top 10 softball showdown was next week. We saw pitching tonight that will be reminiscent of what we expect to see next week because both Mason Bogan and Kyan Miller were terrific.
Absolutely, and it was really just that third inning where it was a misjudgment in the outfield and then an error by Bogan up the middle on a play that got the 2 runs in the game. Outside of that, both pitchers worked themselves out of jams, had plenty of strikeouts, and Kyan Miller overall was fantastic.
I was really struck with the junior's poise. He was in trouble all night long. There were runners in scoring position every inning for the Northwood Panthers, and yet he was able to work out of it. And moments ago, Anj went down to the field to talk with our star of the game, Goshen junior Kyan Miller.
All right, Kyan, what an effort, what a game. Your thoughts on this victory?
It's good to get a win. You know, we've been struggling a little bit throughout the year, but you know, just to get this one and move forward in the conference, feels good.
You had a lot of guys on base throughout every inning, but you also had 8 strikeouts. What was working right for you?
I mean, I think everything. I had confidence in all my pitches to throw whenever I needed to, and that definitely helped.
Coach mentions you're not a guy that shows a lot of emotion on the field. How much emotion are you feeling right now after this big victory?
This is definitely the most of the year. I feel good right now.
How important was this one? You mentioned getting a big conference win. You guys had a tough one against Wawasee over the weekend. You get to 3-4 as the first half of the NLC slate ends. How big is this one for you guys in the second half of this conference season?
It's big. I mean, we know we can beat anybody. So just getting this one, we played everybody once now. We've seen everybody, so we're just going to go and attack everybody else second time.
Kyan, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There is no breathing for Goshen. They have to turn around and play Northridge on Wednesday, Warsaw on Friday, and how about a non-conference game with a team like Westview on Saturday?
Well, and you know what? This is a young team. The sectional draw just came out yesterday. It's still going to be a little bit till we get to it at Memorial Day weekend, but it's a young team, and this is great for them. You play these tough matchups. You win a 2-0 game on the road at Northwood. You face the slate that you just mentioned, you know, Northridge, Warsaw, Westview, all in a week. That's great for a young team to mature, be ready come sectional time.
Meanwhile, for Northwood, they're now 10-5 on the season, but they fall to 4-3 in the NLC. They'll have a chance to go against the rest of that middle of the pack this week. They've got Concord on Wednesday and Northridge on Friday.
Yeah, this is a tough one for them if they want to win the conference title now, right? You move to 4-3 in the conference. Certainly, they're still more than capable. There's still 7 more conference games to be played, so they can, but they got a lot of work to do now. They got to really maybe go 6-1 in conference play here in the second half if they want to win a share of the conference title.
And now we're ready to transition from baseball into softball, and what a game we have for you next week on TV 46. Number 7 St. Joe going over to Penn to take on the 4th-ranked and defending state champion Kingsman. Terrific pitching, great all-around play. We're looking forward to showcasing that one for you here on 46. And our thanks once again to our TV 46 production crew who did another great job setting up in the rain today. Then the skies dried up, but not their effort. They were terrific. Our production manager, Dean Korsmo, leading the way with our usual cast of talented people. A reminder, once again, next week on TV 46, Tuesday night at 9, Friday night at 11, and Saturday morning at 9, high school softball as the 7th-ranked St. Joe Huskies take on the 4th-ranked Penn Lady Kingsmen. Don't forget to follow us on social media with updates on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now from our broadcast partner, Angelo DiCarlo, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final from the Field of Dreams. Goshen 2, Northwood nothing. So long from Hardly Napanee.